What becomes of a kingdom when its strongest sword carries the deepest pain? Long ago in the faraway kingdom of Meshera was a woman, Menber Haile, who was very beautiful, with her glowing dark skin and full black hair. Menber was beautiful in her own way, strong, brilliant, and independent. She was not rich, but she wasn't poor either. Unfortunately, she was always ridiculed because she had no suitor. People whispered whenever she passed because she had no husband yet. But she held a powerful position in the kingdom. Menber Haile was the special advisor to the king. She had a sharp mind for strategy, especially for war. Her strategies always ensured victory against the kingdom's enemies. They were undefeated. For that, the king honored her. She was loyal, just like her father before she took over. But her greatest desire was to have a husband. A man to call her his and hold her every night. In the streets, people's whispers trailed her like shadows. No fortune, no family, no man to call her own. Menber heard all these whispers. And though she could outmaneuver any enemy on the field of battle, she felt vulnerable in matters of the heart. She felt alone. One afternoon as she walked through the forest path, back from the palace, she met a severely injured man in the forest. His tunic torn, face bruised black and blue. His breath shallow and his long hair stained. He was alive but unconscious. She pitied him and covered his open wound with her ribbon, then took him to a healer to tend to his wounds and care for him. The strange man got better but couldn't remember anything or his name. So Menber took him to her home to keep caring for him. As time went on, they spent more time together and fell in love. Menber Haile fell even harder. He wasn't so handsome thanks to the large scar on his face. But he was gentle yet strong. His skin was rough but his eyes were gentle. He didn't let her do anything. The man called her his princess. He was the perfect man she had ever dreamed of. One day, he recalled who he is. His name is Abra, a traveler coming to the kingdom but was ambushed by robbers and beaten to near death. He had no money. A traveler? That explains why he has scars and a rough skin. Menber Haile was happy when Abra said he wasn't married and has never been. They lived together, ate together, and shared everything together. He told her stories of his travels. She shared stories of her past and present war strategies. He listened to her and she found it funny and exciting how interested he was when listening to her. They were in love. All went well until one day. Menber Haile noticed Abra whispering to someone behind a tree. The person turned and left immediately he saw her coming. The man said the stranger was lost and looking for his way around. A few moons later, Abra said he was going for a trip and he would be back. He was a traveler after all. Although sad, Menber Haile bade him goodbye as he left with a promise to return. He left but didn't come back. Menber waited for him, but no word came. Every day on her way back from the king's palace, she hoped he would be at home. She also passed by the same place she found him months ago, hoping to see him, but no sign of Abra anywhere. He didn't stop by. Although broken-hearted, she had to keep a straight head. The kingdom was preparing for war. The war came. Chants of war and victory filled the air. As usual, the kingdom's soldiers went out to fight their enemy. Unlike other times, Menber didn't go home. She stayed back in the palace with the queens and their children, the maids, and others. She wanted to welcome the king and soldiers when they got back. That was what she told anyone who asked. But in reality, Menber didn't go back because her house was lonely. She has come to dislike it because of Abra's absence. It didn't take long before everyone heard a loud scream. A wounded soldier ran back with an arrow struck at his back. His bloodied face displaying eyes filled with dread. "They are coming," those were his last words. Shortly behind him was an army invading the invincible kingdom of Meshera and slaughtering people. The chants of war cries from the invaders mixed with the screams of terror from the villagers. The air was filled with blood and smoke. Huts set on fire. Men and women bundled and dragged like cattle. Dead bodies of resistant villagers lay on the floor. Menber Haile looked up and saw her lover, but this time, he was on horseback, leading the enemy's army as they invaded the palace. It turns out he was never robbed or even a traveler. He was King Ahodu, a longtime enemy of Meshera, a young man who only became king at the age of 8. He made Menber a target, pretending to be an innocent traveler who genuinely loved her just so he could get her war secrets. Beside him was the stranger she saw him talking to, who she now realized is his right-hand man. Menbear highly looked at her lover. He looked different. The same but different. Those eyes that had once stared at her with so much love and tenderness now carried anger and danger. They had no hint of the gentleness they had shown her. His hands gripped his sword tightly, the blade stained with blood. The blood of fallen Mesheran soldiers. The reality dawned on her. Abera never existed. King Ahodu and his men invaded the kingdom. He stood, displaying the severed head of the Mesheran king before ordering the arrest of everyone, including Menbear highly. Menbear fell to her knees in pain. She shared her secrets to a stranger, not knowing he was the enemy. She killed her people and destroyed her kingdom. The woman tried to look at her lover in the eye, but he didn't look at her. Her heart broke into a million pieces. King Ahodu addressed the prisoners, then turned to go. When no one was looking, she grabbed a dagger from one of the men and struck herself. King Ahodu rushed and caught her before she hit the ground. For a moment, Menbear highly saw the eyes she recognized looking at her, the man she knew and loved. Abera, she whispered. He caressed her face as she drew in her last breath on the dusty ground. King Ahodu gave Menbear a befitting burial. He still wore the ribbon she gave him till his death at a ripe old age. If you like this story, please give it a like and follow for more original stories like this.